room for your wildest fantasies. So please feel free in the end to express also your wishes in that regard. To briefly introduce you, we have here with us Ioana. She's an organizer from Cluj-Napoca in Romania, and she's organizer of the Tango Casino Festival. And we choose her because she managed to set a city on the tango world map, which is not super very known at the first place. And she was also very active in establishing a good contact with the city and to apply for funds with the European Union. So we find you have a smart and nice way to connect your tango activities with larger endeavors of your city and even of the European Union. So welcome, Ioana.
Hello.
The audience is meant to clap right now. Zrinko from Zagreb.
I like you too. Yes.
This sounds very enthusiastic.
Yes. You said a magical thing about funds. That means we are really a non-profit event. So if you want to make money out of tango, don't ask me.
Okay.
I know how to spend money.
So we can.
That's why I think the event is successful. It really shows that we are spending money. The way we treat our guests. I mean, the red carpet is there. It's not a joke. It's literally there.
Okay.
We take.
Thank you.
We take all our guests from the airport to the hotel.
Let me finish the introduction of the participants. We are looking forward to hear more about you. The second one I want to introduce is Zrinko from Zagreb. He's co-founder of the Mediterranean Summer Tango Festival, also known as Porridge. And we have party, beach, bikini in our minds if we see you and if we talk about your festival. But of course, it's much more, and you have a long period of experience with your festival, with changes and future outlooks. And of course, we want to know more about this. Give a warm applause for Zrinko. The next speaker is Melina from Saarbrücken. Melina is very influential because she literally invented the format of the encuentros, a specific style of tango marathon, if you allow me to say this, which is dance in a very close embrace and has a very strong sense of community. And of course, we would love to learn more about your invention of the encuentros and how it develops over the years. So we are going to go.
I'm sorry, Stefan. I have some workings going on here from some neighbors. Do you hear? Is it interfering?
No. We don't hear anything, so they can continue. So we start with the first block, which is about your vision and the first contact with reality. We have about 8 to 10 minutes, so 2 to 3 minutes for every speaker. We have Veronica as our timekeeper in order to keep the program. And if you know Veronica, she's really strict with this. So I would love to ask Melina first. The question is the same for everyone. So what was your initial vision for your tango event that you created? And to what extent did the actual community that emerged from this change or even challenge the original idea?
Okay, that's an interesting question because I never see myself apart from the community. I'm part of the community, and my interest in organizing tango events always came from my own needs as a tango dancer, not as an organizer, because I wanted to dance in a special environment. And when Encuentros started to develop in the years 2008 and 2009, there was already a strong close embrace dancing community, but there were no international events for close embrace dancers. There were already a couple of precursors in Italy, but there were mostly festivals, and marathons also existed, but both of these events did not give us the things we were looking for. Let's say, number one, a guarantee that there would be traditional music in tandas and with cortinas, also some kind of a guarantee that everyone shares the same vision of dancing in a close embrace, and having this idea of a social dance floor that is more harmonious than it was back then in the other events, especially in tango festivals. I know that by now this has changed a lot, but back then this was the situation. And people wanted to have this feeling that no matter with whom they can dance in such an event, they will always have a nice close embrace and will always have some respect for the dance floor. So basically this was what Encuentros were about in the beginning. It was not about separate seating or about having a role balance or whatever. It was just this idea of having people of the same philosophy in tango come together. But in the beginning, this format was not so well defined, and this is why I don't see myself as the inventor of the Encuentro format. I just see myself as one person who pushed and defined that format over the first years, because the very first event we organized was our Festivalito con Amigos, and it still had a short demo, it still had workshops in there, there was no booking in advance. The second events of that sort happened in France.
Okay, thank you for elaborating on the first question. I think we understood very well that you see your role as somebody taking off and demand in the tango scene that already existed, and you may have amplified it with your ideas collaborating towards the format of the Encuentro. Zrinko, what is your experience with your, so to say, vision and the first contact with the crowd?
Well, it's been a very long time since then, and when I did this with Ioana, we were sort of we started as, I think, more of a younger part of the crowd in tango. Like at that time when I started dancing, there were not so many young people in tango, and after now this is very different. After Darko and Sonia, like, it removed the whole level of age when it comes to tango. But I felt that we were very young then, and started to do something that was with no special vision to do something different, but with something that has maybe a lighter feel, because we were dancing also tango, and salsa was starting in Zagreb at that time, and we were one of the first schools in Zagreb that did this, and somehow it was a natural extension of what we did in Zagreb, you know. And when we did this, we felt like we wanted to put something that is a little bit connected more to the somehow happier side of tango, something like this. And we were very lucky, actually, just to have the opportunity to do this in Croatia. There is so much luck when you do this, you know, like you have your vision and your idea, but so many things have to come together, you know. And we as people at that point just felt that somehow to incorporate the seaside and maybe bring a little bit of party into the idea of tango, you know. And our experience with festivals that we loved all over the place in our neighboring countries, in Italy, Slovenia, were wonderful. And we just wanted to somehow use the seasides and put a little bit of sun into the whole idea. But we were very lucky, actually, that somehow people saw this and embraced this idea, you know, like there was no so much calculating behind. Like, we wanted this, so we had a lot of friends, we traveled a lot before this, we met so many people as friends, and we said, like, why don't you do this? And it kind of just clicked nicely,
So obviously you're describing a similar dynamic as Melina. There was a need, there was younger people, there was the occasion of the seaside, and you were just at the right moment, at the right place, as we know now, because people obviously understood that you find a kind of a key to centralize their wishes and ideas. Ioana, what is your take on the first introduction of your vision and the immediate contact of the tango community?
Tango Casino appeared first because there is this amazing building that was just renovated by the City Hall. And the moment we saw it, we said this could be an amazing tango place. So this is what we did. We did it mainly for the Romanian community, for our local community. At that time was really in the first 2 years, 3 years. So it was, let's say, motivated first by what we had locally. And yes, it seems that also it was our idea to help our locals mainly to see how tango looks outside, because we were already starting to traveling a lot. At least even now I am traveling once a month to an Argentine tango event. And so I see not all the people can do this. So I said, let's bring the Mohammed, the mountain to the people. Yes. So we start we did it for the community to see, to have them taste a little bit of how is tango outside. Then, of course, they were very impressed, and it was easy for them to come to Cluj, especially the Romanian people, because even now it's not so easy to travel from Cluj. The cheapest flight ticket is 250 euro to go almost anywhere. Of course, sometimes you can get special offers, but when you really want to go somewhere, you will realize that you really have to be rich to do tango. So this was a good opportunity. And also, I was saying, because, for example, I'm not kind of person who said, come with me to go 50 people to an Argentine tango event. I was set myself as an example to motivate people to want to travel more, to learn more, to become better dancers, to socialize more. And then also foreigners came. Now it's like a mandatory Romanian thing. So we still have mainly attenders are from Romania. So it's also an amazing opportunity for people to meet Romanian dancers, and also Romanian dancers that still cannot afford to travel so much. But they will always come to Cluj. Also now tango, it's not cheap anywhere. You can see it's at least 150, 200 euro to buy anything.
Okay, thank you. So in your case, it was more the situation that you as an organizer had a view that was reaching a little bit beyond the border of your country, and you really felt the need to use the facilities of your own city, but at the same time bringing dancers from all over Europe, all over the world in the end,
exactly.
To your city.
And also still the Argentine
before you continue,
community.
Ioana, let me add the second part of question. So we are entering now the block 2, where it is about the reciprocity and the learning in the contact with your scene. The organizers provide a kind of framework, but the communities, I think, they also shape their spaces in their own way. Sometimes they do something we expect, but most of the time not. So what is the most important thing that in a way your community has taught you? And can you share maybe a very concrete example of a formal change or rule that came directly from the impulse of your dancers? So how did they influence your work? Ioana, please continue.
Yes, well, it was because of this need to bring people together, because in the end, it's all about this. How to bring people together. When you come to Cluj, you will always still find, even after so many years, a young crowd. Now, actually, I was looking at the photos of the last edition, and I saw a lot of, over even 60 years old. And I was like, I cannot be angry about it. I just, my age is 50 now from this year. So I'm like, man, I mean, we were kind of young when we started, and it's amazing that we can still have tango even in our late 60s and late 70s. And we cannot blame older people, they have more time and money. But still, there is appealing to young people to come to tango, because when they actually interact together, I see them then wanting to be better dancer, and they also starting to travel more. So,
and is there really something you changed in your format after a kind of heavy intervention of the dancer? Is there something unexpected that happened?
You know, I'm crazy about the details. So you will see, for example, I was in BTT, amazing place, amazing dancers. It was so hot, you cannot imagine. I spent 2,000 euro for AC. I rent AC and ventilators too. So if you come to Cluj, you can complain it is cold. So wherever I'm traveling, I'm trying to, my event, I'm sure if you will ever come, some of them already been there, you will see that these details will make a difference. Okay. I had to make a difference because it's easy to go to Paris or to Berlin, but when you want to go somewhere, you have to have something. Porridge has the sea and the amazing giant venue with everything.
So you have the perfect.
Cluj, why would you come?
You have the perfect details, and maybe the air condition that is sometimes too cold. Huh?
Exactly. So if you complain it is cold, it was worth every penny of it.
Let's move from the beautiful venue, fridge-like Cluj back to the Mediterranean Sea, and see what experiences Zrinko had, what kind of challenges he experienced by the crowd, and what made him maybe change the idea.
We started, I think, after maybe the third or fourth year doing like a regular service after the festival, where people have like a Google Sheets, they go through certain questions and they give us feedback. And this is nice, I think, because every year we have around 300, 400 people filling up this survey, which is a huge, if you take like you have 1,600 people on a festival, 300 or 400 of these people filling out this survey shows that people wish to somehow interact and they have something to say. We have changed in the beginning the big venue where we were. We started in this hotel, which was an old place. It was so hot, like, Jesus, I want to forget this first year, like entirely, everybody who has been there. And then we moved, and you get these things where, maybe Ronda was not right. You had the bar that was too close. We didn't know where we would stand, how to invite people, and you have to be somehow sincere to this. You really need to work with yourself, because if you're a Balkan, everybody who comes to your home needs to eat a lot and everything needs to be clean, So when you read this, me as a Balkan, I feel like really shame if something was not good. So you have to somehow channel this and have a sense that, you need to take all of this feedback into account. So we changed many things. For example, we shifted things where Ronda is. I'm talking about now the main venue. We raised the speakers, sound was a very big thing, because when we organized Porridge, I was still working in a marketing agency, and I had a contact with the best sound and light in the country, So we brought all this, 200,000 euro of equipment, and then totally misplaced it, put it on a place where it doesn't work for tango, So you have people, so I was lucky knowing people. So this dear friend Holger from Graz, who came and said, look, I know sound, let me design this for you, So now some people who do concerts for Nick Cave are listening how to do tango, So you need to put speakers here, there is a delay in between, and this change. And then you get feedback, oh my God, the sound is so much better. And this makes you happy. You really try to change things so people enjoy, but also always take care that there is a certain line where your vision, I mean, what somehow the event is, might change. You try to find a voice where you help people enjoy it more, but also don't change the idea what you want your event to be somehow. You know.
We learned from the first two, I think, clearly that you have to keep your ear on the audience, on the crowd, and they may help you to change details more or less dramatically, but at the same time, as an organizer, I guess you feel the need to keep the core idea going, and this is the thing that originally you invented, and it's necessary to keep your core. Melina, would you like to contribute to this?
Yes, of course. So, of course, we changed a lot of details in our events for many, many years, locations, air conditioning, oh yes, and of course sound system and stuff. But I want to talk about the early changes that actually shaped the format, because the way the format is now was not as it was in the beginning. As I said, we had this idea, okay, it needs to be an event with traditional tango music and close embrace, and that people can come from all over Europe or even from all over the world. But what did this mean? In the beginning, in the first Encuentros, we had, for example, very often 40, 50, 60 more followers back then, women than men. And this was because there was no pre-booking in advance. So what does it mean? We first had to establish the fact that people had to pre-register in advance and to balance roles at an event. This was not normal back then because this was not done before. So the decision that we had to do that we had to guarantee that if someone comes from another country or even another continent wants to dance enough, there has to be a role balance. And if you want to have role balance, you have to book in advance. And the fact that people, come from far away, they need to have this guarantee that everyone in the ronda has, at least the skills to move in the ronda, to dance in a close embrace. So this is when it started that the organizers then had a little bit look at, okay, who do we admit to our events? Because we didn't want to have people joining the events who could not guarantee that. So the entire format was basically defined in these very first years because people who wanted to come from far away needed to have a guarantee that it will be exactly the events that they were looking for.
Okay, yeah,
if you go to a local, just one sentence more, if you go to a local milonga or you dance in Buenos Aires, it doesn't matter. If you don't like the milonga, you just go to another event. But the moment it becomes international, you have to guarantee these things. And this is why pre-booking, role balance, and closed events even started.
Yeah, thank you so much, Melina. We will have another round looking into the future before the audience get in. So please prepare your questions already. I'm looking into the audience. So Melina, we will start with you. So society is changing a lot, tango as well. So considering the current social shifts, what role do you see in your community playing in co-creating the future of tango? It's maybe a little bit difficult exercise, but please let your mind go. What kind of ideal community would you hope to cultivate in the coming years? What are you looking for?
So there are, of course, a lot of aspects. What I would like to do is to preserve social tango and the quality, but also modernize it. And I think I'm doing that in one way that is super important for me and that is super important for our entire community. And for me, this is exactly the question of the role balance. For many years, I've looked to it that our events are role balanced. And by that, excluding women who want to dance systematically because they cannot join the events. So I've started teaching both roles and encouraging women to dance both roles. And now our events do have more than 15-20% of double rollers. Most of them are women. So we're not looking for a gender balance anymore. We're looking for a role balance. And the double rollers basically can dance both roles. They don't have to balance. So in my ideal community and in my ideal future as an organizer, I don't want to be looking at genders and roles every time. In my ideal event, I don't have to look at that because everyone dances both roles, or let's say at least enough people dance both roles, so you don't have to take care of that anymore, so that it self-organizes. I don't want to exclude people due to their gender, and I don't want to impose roles on anyone. But I think these years in which we had to look at this first the gender balance and then the role balance excluded and made so many people unhappy all the time.
Absolutely,
and
yeah.
I really don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm trying my best to work towards a future where I don't have to do that anymore.
This connects nicely to the panel we had in the morning where we were talking about feminist and queer tango. And we, as a crowd and also the discussants, found that the introduction of double role dancing in the queer scene 10, 15 years ago really is something that went mainstream right now, no? And it's a kind of contribution of a sub-community which was a very important impulse for the tango scene, but also the society as a whole. So let's move back to the Mediterranean Sea and see what things will change there, or is there no need to change under the sun?
I am not sure. We are a festival, so we are an open event. What I see is what Miss Melina mentioned is that. But this you see everywhere, you know, the roles role in tango taking the priority, disregarding the gender itself. So for me, as we are an open event, I feel and I see that these things are happening on the dance floor. Me personally, I am a little bit afraid as my life has changed a lot, and I am not so much. Tango has maybe taken like a second priority in my life. You know, I am not so much involved into the community of Europe and the world, and which keeps me up at night actually, and sometimes disconnects me a little bit, and I get really panicking. You know, like am I doing the right thing? Is porridge doing what today people enjoy actually in tango if I don't listen to it, you know? And I am happy. I am still, tango in Zagreb is, for example, vibrant, and a lot of most prominent dancers in Zagreb somehow participate in the organization of porridge. So I listen, you know, like I hear what is happening on the scene and people who travel, how things are changing. So this somehow keeps me in the loop. And as I cannot affect somehow the role balance when it comes to tango, I do feel that maybe I would see somehow an impact of a porridge event that is so big on just some code of conduct in tango. For example, I have been hearing a lot now. It's interesting that I hear this now so much, just how people are in tango generally to each other, you know, tango being a dance that is so in a way private and close. People who are not in tango would say intrusive, and we share our own space, you know, with somebody who we don't know. And there are some ways that we need to be courteous to each other, you know, and I feel that there is many situations where we become objects to one another and objects to some of our personal wishes. And I am just driving the idea into having a certain thing about somehow promoting the niceness between each other. I'm just saying, like, you know, things of like you try to be nice to a person. Consent is somehow something that is not presumed in the beginning, and I feel that this is something that I can contribute to with a festival of this size, This is a really bigger conversation, and I know that you mentioned some of these ideas that you spoke to already, but it's something that maybe.
Thanks for letting us participate in your thoughts and even worries for the future. No, obviously you have some trends on the list and you're worried about it, but at the same time it's a big established festival with a lot of freedom, so you cannot take everyone at the hand, and that this is maybe also a character that you want to keep, but at the same time it's super interesting for all of us to hear the Backdoors organizers' perspective, and thanks for sharing this with us. Let's move to Ioana for this final round before we come to the question. So what is your look into the future of tango in Cluj?
Because Cluj is still a small tango event. I mean, we can host 250 people. We had 300 this year. There was a year, I think we had almost 400. But because of the venue and because this is the format, this is the ideal number of people. And this year we had almost gender balance. It was only 20 followers more. And we realized that because of a marketing mistake, we were promoting, for example, to register to classes in couples. People don't check. So I think they got this idea that our event, you have to register with a partner. So when we realized this, it was like 10 days before the event, we had like maybe 190 people registered. And yes, definitely like 7, 8 women more. Then we start to promote, hello, you can register just like that. So in the last week, guess what? 100 people registered.
Oh.
So I think open events, even if you, we promoted already for many years festival marathon. You can days all day, all night. You have the classes separate in another venue. So there is something for everybody. What I am preoccupied, also because I experience in time a lot of this, and we need to be as a person very grounded, very consistent, and emotional stable, at least from time to time. It's how to make people dance more with each other, being more open to dance with new people. It is so damn difficult, even after 15 years. Even if people see you at many events, some people are off limits still now. So I think this is what we do, because, for example, we organize, me and Horia, you know Horia, he loves you all. We organize also a Romanian tango camp where we bring beginners and we tell them about, we have this charla, we have these talks, how to survive to tango. Because in the end, if you survive to tango, it's amazing. And you have to understand why people don't dance with each other all the time, or why you still can have fun, not to look at those people who don't want you. Like in real life, look where you are wanted. So we try to guide these
Thank you
people.
so much, Ioana. We had this topic as well, the dark side of tango, and we went like to let you feel a little bit our trajectory. We went from tango heaven, no, like the tango connects us and we feel love and home and family, to this insight that tango can actually be very cruel and for beginners very, very hard, and what can we do to enhance them to live in the tango scene. We have almost 10 minutes for a round of questions from the audience, so without further ado, who has the first intervention? Daniela from Warsaw.
Hi. Oh, stand up. Okay. Yes. Stand.
He's hiding.
I have a question that it's a bit spicy for the organizers. Yes, I've been dancing now 18 years, and I'm traveling since 14 years on tango events, etc., etc. And if we look about how many people are dancing in tango and how many events are in the last 5, 6, 7 years appearing in the tango scene, is not the same. So there are a lot of more events every year, every month appearing. So what's for you the strategy to keep your event sparkling? And if you have a solution how to do this kind of, how to react to this kind of increasing of so many tango events?
Yeah, who wants to go first? Melina. Huh?
Yes, there is a huge competition, of course, and this is sometimes very, very stressful for organizers. It gets stressful because it's much harder to fill events. I do feel that there is not so much that we can actively do. Just try to keep our quality and our focus, but I think it is also important to give up and not to stick to things too long, because I feel that in a way sometimes it is okay to say, okay, this format now is played out. You cannot keep an event, even if it is great and even if you've done that for years, for such a long time. We had Tango Combinat events already that we gave up. And there might be more in the future because I think tango has to renew itself. Right now, there's really too many and the quality is sinking in most of the events, but this will regulate itself again because in the end, the customers go where they want to go.
Yeah.
They only have limited resources and they are going to choose the events that they like.
Okay.
And other events will basically die again. And this is what happens.
Okay, so on the one hand,
ours might die as well.
Yeah, on the one hand, try to keep what you had, the core quality, but the art of quitting at the right time, if we may call it like this, is also something that comes to a mind of an organizer. Zrinko, Ioana, you would like to contribute? Or?
Maybe I can just, I know what Daniele is, I guess, addressing as, like, for example, a marathon. In its simplest form, it's extremely easy to do. You have a venue, you have some food that comes and you need a few DJs. So like, this is why we have an overflowing of events and the quality is like on the entire spectrum, So it is good in a way that, these waiting lists have changed because if you're on a waiting list in one marathon, you can go to a different one.
At least if you are a male leader, not if you are a single woman.
Yes, exactly. That is correct. It's a long conversation, actually. The question is very big, but generally I think marathon as an idea has to change a little bit. I think we need to up the level of quality and maybe offer something else. For example, I would suggest as an idea to incorporate more teachers into events, whether they are marathons or not. I think we generally, the dance scene in the entire world needs go back to school. Like, we need better quality of dancers. People need to start learning. It's not just about the dancing, it's about everything. This benefits all of us. We need to learn tango from the best, so and marathons needs to change.
Special applause not only from the professional tango teachers but also from the audience.
I can tell you that for example, Casino, because the venue is small, the teachers who maybe at some events you met them and they don't dance at all, they are dancing when they come to Casino. We also were searching for people who are more social friendly with people, because we saw that it will be better to inspire the community, to have good dancers at your event, so people, your local people, can see all these layers of tango. They get inspired by what they see, because I also teach. Once a week, I teach. So when people come to classes, I try to open their mind and to tell them about, in a funny way, about the dark side of tango and the light side, and the one that that will make you come back to the dance floor. And when you start to travel and you see all the difference, but in the end, the same common goal, to join together in a nice moment and not to look from other reasons. But still there is place for everybody on the dance floor in the end. And also, because there are so many tango events and people can choose, definitely you have to keep the quality of your event. Because I was always say, I will go back to BTT in Paris, even if I'm dying with heat, maybe I'll bring them.
If you bring Veronica to Cluj, then maybe people would not stick to Paris.
Still,
I don't know.
I understand.
Ioana, we have one more question from the audience. Julian.
Hey, I originally had a different question, but something else popped in mind. So,
Julian.
Yes, Zrinko, hi.
Hey,
we make people appear again.
I only come out. I come out once every 15 years. You're right. I'll see you when we're both 70 or something like that. Nice. Yeah, me too. So, as organizers of events as well as the local community, I hear everybody speak about how do we include more people? What do we do? What's the role that we have? And I think my question is, are we at a place now that we've all gotten older as organizers and dancers and participants to be able to come up with a playbook, something that we can do, specific ideas? How do we encourage more men to become, or more males or more leaders? How do we address things like a cultural stigma that keeps them from that? All the way to how do we help new people as well as seasoned veterans understand their role and function in the community? What I mean by that is, if you only go to the milongas regularly, not only, but that's your contribution. If you have house parties, that's your community. If you bring cookies, that's your contribution. So are we at a place now where we can really map out key things, let's say 25, 50 things that say, this is what our obligations are as organizers and as community leaders, to say, let's all use the same thing because we know we all have the same goal in mind, which is to connect as a global tango family.
Yeah, we can have a short round of last intervention. So basically,
if I may,
like
for example, this is implying maybe that organizers of events are also the community leaders. Like, I think this starts. There is like a hierarchy. You know, you have somebody who is offering classes, who is somehow on the door opening to people get inside tango. This is where I have been there for 20 years and actually somehow helping people get into it and keeping a space. Like, a community needs to have somebody who just brings in new people, you know, like sometimes communities also in Zagreb, like you have 6 teacher couples and everyone's just taking what people are there, you know. So here's 72 milongas where all 40 of us can come, you know. And actually you need to have beginner classes, you need to work on the community to expand.
Yeah.
And then
thank you, Zrinko, for contributing. We had similar discussions going between the two extremes there. On the one hand, the scene is highly anti-hierarchical and not really organized, yeah. But at the same time, we feel the need, and we see it also, that some people are more able to attract beginners, others can organize high-level events, the next one is good with concerts. And in the ideal tango scene, we would share roles and awareness of roles and organize it in a smart way. And maybe this is something that comes up after our conference when everyone writes his own playbook, and I don't know what process will follow up. Anyway, thank you so much for joining online, participating, jumping into our discussions. It was great to share the time with you. Have a nice Sunday and see you soon.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
So let's, I mean,
For me, it feels like Sunday already. Oh my God.
Let's continue with Stefan's Sunday. Is the microphone on? No, now it's on, right? Good. I want to take the moment to say a huge thank you to all the viewers from everywhere in the world. Hawaii, Australia, Slovakia,
England, Switzerland, Germany, and probably some other countries I forgot. Thank you so much. This was the last session that we streamed, and we will be working on the videos to release them as soon as possible. We cannot promise when that is, but we can guarantee that we are working to publish them as soon as possible so that they're available online. Thank you very much. And also, very important, my deepest thank you to our tech team, to Jonas and Franciscus. Thank you so much. I want to say that I'm really impressed. It's outstanding because I'm not a tech guy. Like I could not do this at all, and I'm also not a fan of tech. But I'm not intimidated by what you're doing, and there are no flaws whatsoever. So I'm really extremely grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We have a 15-minute break, and then we will have a wonderful session in the big hall with Ruben.